Israel is an empty vine. He bringeth forth fruit unto himself. According to the multitude of his fruit, he hath increased the altars. According to the goodness of his land, they have made goodly images. Hosea chapter 10 and verse 1. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ruchak Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well labor in the word and doctrine. Shalom and peace. May that be unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Now, concerning the graphing in, this is a good precept to support the idea of this vine and that vine, and this tree, that tree, the idea of men as trees, specifically Israel as a tree. Now there's one that talks about Israel as, how does it phrase it now? I believe it's in Jeremiah, I want to say 11. I believe it's in Jeremiah, it talks about Israel being like unto an olive tree, an olive branch. And you have that saying in the world, the parable of, I'm trying to reach out an olive tree, as in to make amends, to make peace. Really, that's talking about those who have become estranged from the way, coming back into the fold. Now, that is the adoption of sons that it speaks about in Romans, the 9th chapter, where it says, to whom pertaineth to Israel. What does it say? Pertaineth to Israel, pertains to Israel. The covenant, the glory, the promises, the giving of the law, the service of the Most High. I might be missing one or two things there, but you can read that Romans chapter 9 verse 3 through 5. Now this graphing back in is this Israel, that once was that plentiful vine, and it's come to a point where a lot of Israel's become a wild olive tree. Now the whole idea of the genus, if you want to touch on it like that, the idea of the genus of the olive tree, well, it's still an olive. No matter how wild an olive, the olive still remains an olive. Just because it's wild, the olive didn't turn into an apple. So it's still an olive, it's still Israel. But Israel is an empty vine unto the Lord. Right? Israel is not bringing forth that fruit. Now Yahweh Shai spoke on, a good tree bringeth forth good fruit. An evil tree brings forth evil fruit, and an evil tree cannot bring forth that which is good. How about that for a little leaven, leaveneth the whole lump? An evil tree cannot bring forth that which is good. And Israel being like unto a tree. Read Psalm, the first chapter, the first Psalm. Right, as a phrase, he is a tree planted by living waters. Living water. Right, the living waters is scripture. Right, the living, flowing waters is scripture. So that's the tree we ought to be planted, have a firm planting, right, and watered, nourished by that spiritual oil, because we have that proverbial olive tree, true olive tree that bring forth olives, bring forth fruit. Brings forth the oil. You're not bringing forth the fruit. You're not bringing forth your works. The fruit you bear, the fruit you bring forth is symbolic or metaphoric for the works you bring forth. Now, it's not of works you'll be justified, because all our righteousnesses are as like unto filthy rags. All of our righteousnesses like unto filthy rags. We check that word for filthy rags. It has the connotation of a menstruous rag. Right? So all our righteousnesses are like unto a blood clot. And that's by literal definition. Right? Literal definition. So the new covenant, the whole idea behind this Romans 9, 3 through 5, the covenants. Right, that's a great emphasis there on the covenants. The glory, right, is going to go into that kingdom, but that's pertaining to the new covenant, right, which will not have an end, an everlasting covenant, a perpetual covenant unto the seed of Israel forever. And that forever is even and ever and ever. Right, certain forevers have cut off points. Like I was in the queue. I was in the queue forever, brother. I was in the queue forever. Now that forever has an expiry date. You know? That forever has an expiry date. Now this forever that's coming, you know, it doesn't have one.